welcome to Nationwide, coming to you live on the network service of the NTA. We thank you for joining us. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. And now the details. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has directed all information dissemination platforms under his ministry, as well as the National Orientation Agency, to embark on an intensive awareness and sensitization campaign in a bid to arm Nigerians with the necessary information that will protect them to stay healthy. The minister stated this in Abuja. Anthony Forson has the details.
With coronavirus now in Nigeria following the first confirmed case, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture has come up with a sensitization and enlightenment plan, as explained by the Minister, Lai Mohammed.
The NTA, FRCN, NAN, VON, and the National Orientation Agency have been directed to intensify their ongoing sensitization and enlightenment campaigns to arm Nigerians with the necessary information to stay well. And the National Orientation Agency, NOA, with its wide reach, office in all the 774 local governments, is pushing the various sensitization enlightenment programs to all the nooks and crannies of the country, translating the campaign to the major indigenous languages to expand their reach.
While calling on Nigerians not to panic, he assured that the federal government is well equipped to handle the situation, but was however quick to caution that mischief makers will take advantage of the situation.
We know that at times like this, purveyors of fake news and disinformation usually ramp up their acts. We are therefore urging Nigerians not to fall for the antics of purveyors of fake news and disinformation. Fortunately, Facebook is working with us in this regard. They have asked Nigerians to report any false or misleading report on Facebook and Instagram pages so they can immediately bring them down.
The patient, who is an Italian, is said to be in a stable condition and being treated at the Infectious Disease Hospital, Yaba, Lagos. Anthony Forson, NTA News.
President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has called for compulsory screening of all passengers coming into Nigeria from China and other countries affected by the coronavirus. This followed a point of order by the Deputy Leader of the Senate, Senator Ajayi Borofis, who drew the attention of the Senate to what he described as non-screening of passengers in some airports in Nigeria.
When I arrived yesterday at the Nnamdi Azikiwe airport, there was no screening. All we were given is a sheet of paper to indicate that whether we were sick, whether we have been to one country or the other, and how we will be contacted.
Meanwhile, the issue of alleged non-screening of air passengers arriving Nigerian airports, as raised by the Senate, as well as other factors, were discussed in our studios with medical experts on NTA Panorama this Friday afternoon. Here is the excerpt.
Fast forward to the Senate complaint, or the complaint from the Senate saying there was no screening whatsoever. Now, the process of screening, in particular at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, consists of a temperature detection process whereby you walk through thermal scanners. So the distinguished senator was actually screened on arrival. He walked through the thermal scanners, and that paper, that sheet of paper, is part of the screening process. It's a health screening form to give us some information about your biodata, your travel history, the fact that you may be, whether you've had symptoms or not, or contact with someone who has symptoms. So guess what? At a time like this, that form becomes extremely relevant, because for people who have been in contact with the index case, we're going to go into the archives to retrieve the forms from that airline. We're going to go into the manifest and determine who sat closest to him and use the form to trace them. So for both the purposes of detection, surveillance, and contact tracing, the form is part of the screening process.
If I may interject here,
Yes.
it's possible that some people could fill in fake or false information about their health. How do we handle this?
Okay, so for us, in terms of our surveillance, actually our plan is not to profile all passengers or stigmatize anyone. Our concern is about the surveillance in terms of the symptoms and the signs that they present with. And just like the Director of Port Health said, we have the form where we have their details, and for persons of interest, that's for individuals that have been to countries where there is an ongoing transmission, we have a way of monitoring them daily. We follow up with them, we call them daily to know whether they have signs and symptoms that we're looking for, how they're doing, and we have a call log where we use that for a period of 14 days.
Nigerians have also been advised to observe strict hygiene, regular hand washing, and desist from peddling rumors, as the Federal Ministry of Health is working with relevant agencies to contain the spread of the virus. Citizens are also advised to monitor authentic news feeds, including the Nigerian Television Authority. Nationwide will continue after this timeout. Don't go away.
KEFI Old Boys Association, KOBA, cordially invites the general public to the 70th anniversary ceremony of the establishment of the Government College KEFI. Date, Thursday 27 to Saturday 29 February 2020. Venue, Government College KEFI. By this announcement, all KOBA members in and around Nigeria, as well as those outside the country, are requested to report to their various houses in the college on Thursday 27 February 2020 for registration. On Friday 28 February 2020, there will be a seminar hosted by KOBA members at the Patient Hall between 9 a.m. and 12 noon. A Friday prayer will take place at the Emmaus Palace, KEFI, by 2 p.m., followed by a novelty football match between the current students and the old boys. By 7 p.m., a Bisoye Award night will take place at the Patient Hall, where some distinguished KOBA members will be honored. A grand finale will hold on Saturday, 29 February 2020 at the Queen Park, where the Nasarawa State Governor, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, leading other state governors, will perform the relaunch of the President Musa Yar'Adua E-Library. The program will be rounded up with the election of the new Executive Council members of KOBA at the annual general meeting. KOBA, Nula De Dito, Publicity Community Announcer.
Coming on April 2nd, 2020, in the capital city of Abuja, the Ivory 8 Ball, a life-saving fundraising event featuring music and arts in aid of skin cancer patients with albinism. For participation and sponsorship, call Edidiong on 070-197-73352 or Chinwe on 090-559-61514. This event is powered by Nigerian Television Authority, TV Enterprises, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, African The Ivory 8 Ball, for a worthy cause. Watch out.
Are you looking for a serene environment where you can relax and feel at home with family and friends? Then search no more, because Liverpool VIP Hotel and Unique Resort is the answer. At Liverpool VIP Hotel and Unique Resort, we have well-furnished standard rooms and suites, 24 hours power supply, advanced security with CCTV cameras everywhere, VIP and bush bar, restaurant with all kinds of African and continental cuisines, assorted drinks, shawarma sports, modern 80-seater conference room. And now, check this out, 30% discount for all rooms and suites for 3 months. Hurry now to Liverpool VIP Hotels and Unique Resort, located at number 4 St. Michael's Crescent, off Tombier Extension, GRA Phase 3, Port Harcourt, River State. For reservation and more information, call 080-6764-0587. Liverpool VIP Hotel and Unique Resort, true hospitality.
New digital technologies have thrown up new opportunities for online news gathering, reporting and management. NTA TV College invites online reporters, journalists, public relations practitioners, multimedia producers and freelance reporters to a special 2-week intensive course on intermediate online news reporting skills. Take advantage of the course to upscale your skills in computer-assisted reporting, social media content production strategies, online media platforms for information dissemination and management. Date 2nd to 13th March 2020. Course fee 80,000 Naira per participant. accommodation inclusive. Also running is a special 4-week intensive course on modern trends in broadcast media marketing. It is an essential course for the sales force in the broadcast media, in the public and private sector, to sharpen their skills and improve their capacities to deal with contemporary marketing challenges and competitors. Date 16th March to 9th April 2020. Course fee 100,000 naira only per participant, accommodation inclusive. The venue for both courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA TV College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more inquiries, please call 0803-314-4383 or 0806-980-9807. NTA TV College, Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
With a defeat at Burnley, leaving them just 2 points above relegation, will Bournemouth revive their hopes of an EPL stay, or will the downward spiral continue? Find out this weekend as Bournemouth hosts Chelsea at the Vitality Stadium and the Premier League Live, showing on NTA Network. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Coca-Cola and Axis Bank.
You're welcome back and you're watching Nationwide. We're going to go over to Port Harcourt where Osinachi Abraham is standing by to give us a situation report. Osinachi, if you can hear me loud and clear, since the reported case of the first case of coronavirus in Lagos, what has been the reaction of people in Port Harcourt?
Yeah, good afternoon and welcome to Port Harcourt. Here in Port Harcourt, everything is just normal. The State Ministry of Health in the state, the Director of Planning and Research just briefed the media on measures put in place to make sure that such does not happen in Port Harcourt. Before now, Port Harcourt has been a very proactive state in terms of containing issues like that. When Ebola happened, it was well managed. Lassa fever was also well managed, and now coronavirus, the director that just briefed us assured us that there will be no case of corona in Rivers State, and lots of measures have been put in place at the airports and other public places, and there is high level of sensitization to ensure that the public get the right information on what to do, and what not to do. And concerning the atmosphere, everywhere is cool. People are going about their normal business. There is no panic in Rivers State, as the state has assured us that that the state is collaborating with the Federal Ministry of Health, and everything is just fine. People are not panicked. There is no panic anywhere in Rivers State. People are happy with the information being released because there's an emergency operation center that has been opened. Phone numbers have been sent to the public. People can call if they suspect any issue. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Osinachi. I would like you to tell us about the preparedness of relevant agencies in this regard.
Yes, it's actually all hand on deck business. Here we are at University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, and I'm with Professor Prince Will Stanley, who will speak further on what is going on and the level of preparation. Professor Stanley.
Thank you very much. For us, like you have said, we have a high state of alertness and preparedness for this particular incident. We are already aware that Nigeria has recorded the first case of COVID-19 infection, and that the patient is being taken care of. And before this time, we have stepped up our preparedness by making the rudimentary arrangements to ensure early detection and possible intervention. But we have a setback. Though we have a good number of globally tested and qualified personnel and specialists, we don't have any of the drugs or to intervene urgently, neither the testing kits and other useful consumables, including the kits that you use to keep the patients and also the specialists and others working with them. Beyond this, we are fully prepared by reason of our interaction with the training groups, but we need to get more equipped for this. Just about 3 weeks ago, we have received about 3 visits from the Federal Ministry of Health who had come in connection with the coronavirus issue, to the extent that we have shown them a place that has been earmarked for the Infectious Diseases Center in the hospital. And that discussion has remained rudimentary because beyond that, nothing has happened. Just about 4 hours ago, we received a contingent from Shell who had come in the spirit of their corporate social responsibility, asking of what they may do to assist. And we also took them to the bare site and they surveyed. But for the acquisition of competencies that are required, we are fully prepared. We need some further stepping up by the reason of preparation in form of the equipment and also the drugs and testing kits. And these are the basic things we need so that we can up our game. Our antennas are quite high, and the state of alertness is quite enviable.
I believe that they may also want to know level of sensitization, at the people. Okay.
Yes, like you earlier said, all the persons within Rivers State and beyond are all informed, and there is no panic because the information had gone in such a manner that persons have taken due precautions. There is no panic at all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We just spoke with Professor Princewell Stanley.
Thank you very much, Osinachi, for that update. Thank you so much. The Federal Ministry of Health has confirmed the first case of coronavirus, like we earlier told you, in Nigeria. The victim is an Italian who works in Nigeria and returned from Milan, Italy to Lagos on Tuesday. Minister of Health, Dr. Osagie Ehanire, who announced this at a news conference in Abuja, describes the condition of the patient who is being managed at the Infectious Disease Hospital in Yaba, Lagos, as clinically stable with no serious symptoms. Health correspondent Rabi Abdallah completes the report.
Since the first outbreak of coronavirus, COVID-19, was reported in China and its subsequent spread to other countries, which is attendant effects, Nigeria has been on its toes to prevent the spread of the virus to its shores. That effort has now become a combination of prevention, response, and containment, following the importation of the virus into the country.
The gentleman who came here apparently may have gotten infected at a point, but walked through the scene, the screening, with no symptoms. And by the time he got to his house, I think a day or two after, he started to feel unwell. And wisely enough, he went to a hospital, and there the doctors examined him, and I believe they found that malaria was negative, and they knew the travel history, and immediately referred him to for a test in Lagos at the Luth testing center, and there it was discovered that he was positive for coronavirus and immediately put under isolation. The identity of patients is not generally released except with their own permission.
The health minister reassured Nigerians of the country's prepared capacity to deal with the virus.
The government of Nigeria, through the Federal Ministry of Health, has been strengthening measures to ensure an outbreak in Nigeria is controlled and contained quickly. And we will use all measures and resources made available by the government to respond to this case.
This confirmed case makes Nigeria the 45th country that has reported COVID-19 outbreak. In Abuja, Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
After Rabi Abdallah's report, we'll now join Elizabeth Lamido live in Kano for a situation report from that zone. Elizabeth, what is the situation in Kano after the breaking news of the first case of coronavirus in Lagos?
Thank you, Lydia. The situation in Kano is actually calm as people go about their daily routines. And even at the international airport, it's just for the international travelers that just came in that are being checked thoroughly. Checking that usually takes 15 minutes rather, now takes 30 to 40 minutes. And aside from that, they also take other measures like scanning for their temperatures and checking if they are coughing and other.
We apologize for the technical challenges there. We hope to reconnect with her when the situation is right. Moving on, the National Association of Nigerian Theatre Arts Practitioners, NANTAP, has commended the efforts of the Director General of the National Council for Arts and Culture, NACA, Otumba Shegun Ronshewe, and Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, for the security arrangement at the Arts and Craft Village, as well as other tourism centers in the country. This was when a delegation of NANTAP visited the National Council for Arts and Culture, NACA, on possible collaboration. Director General of NACA, Otumba Shegun Ronshewe, assured the theatre arts practitioners that the government will continue to support the creative industry in Nigeria for the attainment of its full potentials. It will be recalled that the permanent site of the Arts and Crafts Village was in the news following the case of some intruders using the facility for nefarious activities. Now to security issues. The Nigerian Army has put measures in place to strengthen her security apparatus in its war against insurgency in the country. This came to the fore during the military enrollment sensitization campaign in Ebonyi State. Ijeoma Peter Nwante reports.
The sensitization tour, which is at the instance of the Chief of Army Staff, is part of the ongoing sensitization of citizens in the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. It is aimed at updating citizens on the current approach to the recruitment and training of the persons recruited into the Nigerian Army as envisioned by the Chief of Army Staff. The team leader, Brigadier General Emmanuel Henry Appan, advised the youths in the state to endeavor to enlist in the forthcoming recruitment exercise, which is open for WAEC holders and youths between ages 18 and 26 who are physically and mentally fit. Representative of the state government, Mark Onu, commended the Chief of Army Staff on his effort towards combating insurgency in the country.
I am sure that our youth will make up their mind in number to join the army to defend our fatherland.
On arrival, the team visited Governor David Umahi to solicit for government support during the exercise. In Abakaliki, Ijeoma Peter Nwante, NTA News.
Outside of its role of protecting the territorial integrity of Nigeria, the Eastern Naval Command of the Nigerian Navy is partnering the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, to hold a public speaking competition among corps members serving within the catchment area of the command. Paul Abel reported my perspective and contribution.
Public speaking competition involving 18 presentations from 3 zones, namely Calabar, Uyo and Port Harcourt of the Eastern Naval Command, borders on the NYSC scheme, corps members' perspective, contribution and national development.
And help foster better interaction in the future between the Navy and civilians.
The desire to orientate corps members in the right direction towards national development is the reason behind the event.
The idea started going on in my head that we need to do something so that within the service year, we can improve the confidence of corpers. And
security is very, very required, very necessary for us to talk about national development.
A kind of illuminating our core members, not just the core members, the general public.
At the end of the keenly contested competition, Priscilla Oku emerged as the overall winner with a reward of 150,000 naira. The second position, Amina Yusuf, got 100,000 naira. The third place person, Teginting Nsong, got 75,000 naira, while others were given consolation prizes, plaque, and medals for participating to build confidence.
In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
And in Abuja, President Muhammadu Buhari has restated the commitment of the federal government towards deepening existing relations between Nigeria and Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic. The president gave the assurance while exchanging views with the outgoing Sahrawi ambassador to Nigeria, Melaine Sadiq Bashir. State House correspondent and the Musambu has details.
Ambassador Sadiq Bashir of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic was in the State House on a farewell visit after completing his tour of duty in Nigeria spanning 3¼ years. President Buhari congratulated the outgoing envoy on his accomplishments in the country. He said the relationship between Nigeria and the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic was strengthened during his stay in Nigeria and promised to ensure that it remained so. He therefore wished the envoy well in his future endeavors. Ambassador Sadiq Bashir had told President Buhari that he had a very good experience serving in Nigeria, during which the relations between the two countries improved greatly. The outgoing envoy expressed the belief that Nigeria and his country would continue to collaborate more effectively for enhanced mutual benefits. Ambassador Sadiq Bashir assumed duty in Nigeria on the 8th of November 2016. Records show that Nigeria recognized Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic on November 11, 1984, and formal diplomatic relations were established on the same day. The Sahrawi embassy was opened in Abuja in late 2000. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Just as Lagos residents face the reality that their city is housing the first victim of the novel coronavirus in Nigeria, they are also grappling with unprecedented traffic congestion on most roads and highways across the state. The situation has worsened with the increasing spate of accidents involving petroleum tankers and container trucks, further aggravating an already peculiar situation. What is the state government doing to ease the current hardship motorists and commuters have to contend with on a daily basis? Dotun Ogunyemi is at Ojota to report live on the situation. Dotun?
Hello, Lydia. Well, the situation, like you rightly mentioned, has been quite peculiar for the past 2 days. We know that on Wednesday there was a situation involving a petroleum tanker just after Otedola Bridge along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. That actually caused some really severe traffic, and well, while the situation might have improved moving away from Wednesday, there was actually another situation earlier today along Eti-Osa, that's the Lagos Eti-Osa Expressway, where there was another tanker accident earlier today. But while all that is going on, definitely the Lagos State government is looking at ways in ensuring that they contain all of these situations just to make life more convenient for the people. And to speak more about that, I have with me the Commissioner for Transportation in Lagos, Dr. Frederick Oladende. Sir, really, just talk to us about some of these incidences that we've seen and what you're doing to really alleviate the situation.
Just a point of correction, this is not Oladende. My name is Benga Omocho. I'm the Commissioner for Information. The incident of Tuesday night that you refer to, I can say that it's man-made. Man-made in the sense that people, we know that their vehicles are not good and they put them on the road. It was a case of fire, and it took a long time for the fire to be put out because it was really a combustible material that was being carried by that truck. And what we are trying to do in Lagos now is to ensure that all these trucks, they obey the law. Some of these trucks are 40 years old. They are not supposed to be on the roads anymore. But people still use them to carry goods. And if trucks are not good, and then they are being put on our roads like this, they are bound to fall sometimes. And when they fall like that, it causes discomfort for other road users. And we are trying to stop this because there is a law that says that all these trucks, there is a limit to what they can carry. They carry what they are not supposed to carry now. So the way bridges are now going to be used effectively, some of them that are bad are going to be reformed. Others are going to be put in use that are good, they are going to be used. And then the vehicle inspection services will be up and doing more now to ensure that these bad vehicles don't get on our roads. What we are saying is that we are going to ensure that the laws are obeyed. And once the laws are obeyed, that human factor will be out of it. Right. And once the human factor is out of it, we are going to have some peace.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Omotosho. That was the Commissioner for Information in Lagos State. And that's actually the situation for now. And Lagos residents would be looking at even having better days with all of these plans on ground.
Thanks, Dotun. We really appreciate that situation report. The peace and progress of Itobe community in Ofu local government area of Kogi State will not be compromised by acts of mischief and by persons who deliberately intend to create confusion. President Kogi Council of Chiefs Atai Gala gave the warning following reports of disturbances over the appointment of a woman as traditional ruler in the community. Correspondent Usman Gambo has details.
The newly appointed Onu Itobe Ajiara Motu Ino Ocheja Ibrahim assured the people of her commitment towards the progress and development of Itobe. Ajia Ino appealed to government and other well-to-do individuals to invest in Itobe.
My role in this community now is to pack them together to have peace in the town.
Some of the inhabitants of Itobe community commended Atai Igala for appointing Ajiara Motu Ino Ocheja Ibrahim, the Onu of Itobe, describing her as a philanthropist who has sacrificed a lot, not only for Itobe, but for Igala land. From Itobe in Ofu local government area, Kogi State, Usman Gambo, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has felicitated with Barrister Mohammed Sambo Aliu on the conferment of Magajin Rafin Gwandu by Gwandu Emirate Council, urging him to use the opportunity to serve his community and the country. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the President joins family, friends, and the Emirate Council in celebrating the historic and joyous event, which will hold on Saturday, February the 29th, 2020. President Buhari praised the Almighty God to grant him good health, strength, and more wisdom to serve humanity. Kaduna State government is ready to work with the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development by building a strong network with the ministry to alleviate the various humanitarian challenges faced in the state. This was emphasized when the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, paid a solidarity visit to the ministry, where he also added that Kaduna State is benefiting immensely from the various social investment programs of the federal government, and with more support from the ministry, Kaduna State will continue to tackle its humanitarian crisis.
These humanitarian challenges continue to evolve. You solve one and another one emerges tomorrow, and that's why a ministry like this must be policy oriented, must have sound people that will be looking at issues and thinking through solutions to them on a continuing basis.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, stated that mitigating humanitarian crisis requires collective efforts from critical key players for effective preparedness and response to achieve that set goal for the country.
We're inviting all state emergency management agencies to come to Abuja so that we discuss
We have a workshop for 2 days to look at all these critical issues. The government is also doing its best to see that these issues are addressed and these humanitarian interventions are taken to these affected populations.
The minister also appreciated the efforts of international donors for their support to other African nations in need, a significant responsibility that forms part of the nation's foreign policy document. In line with this, the Cross River State government is extending help to Cameroonian refugees hosted by the state at Ogoja refugee camp. Paul Abel reports that there are over 27,000 of them.
Internally displaced persons in Nigeria and refugee camps have lots of similarities, especially in population size. A slight difference, however, is refugees are foreigners. As such, sometimes the necessary attention is not given to them in welfare and other facilities. A lot of them pass through harrowing experiences from their host communities, and life is never the same, whether they are IDPs or refugees, because they contend with poor shelter, poor sanitary and environmental issues, no jobs, and loss of families or loved ones due to wars or natural occurrences, and at the mercy of local or international donor agencies, governments, and individuals for survival.
Life for camp no easy at all. We no get water, we no get access. We will feel live.
We really appreciate if government get the means for help, we hope for stop this fight, make it no go ahead.
The Cross River State government is changing the narrative with its frequent visits to the Ogoja Cameroonian refugee camp, a likely flashpoint for disease outbreak, as the camp dwellers are being sensitized on preventive measures against Lassa fever, as well as personal and environmental hygiene.
The international community to see that they can provide not just food but livelihood, and of course provide schools for these children to go to.
It's also an opportunity to check even the adults to ensure that there are no health challenges.
The team also appealed to well-meaning individuals, the federal government and other international bodies to support the camp with food and other facilities. In Ogoja, Paul Abel, NTA News.
Ondo State Health Commissioner briefs press as Nigeria records first coronavirus. Let's join Agatha for details.
Thank you, Lydia. Good evening and a warm welcome to Benin. Edo State government has commenced various activities, including sensitization of staff of the Benin airport to screen air travelers to avoid possible spread of the coronavirus in the state. Commissioner for Health, Dr. Patrick Okundia, was briefing the media in Benin following the confirmed case of coronavirus in the country. Eugenia Ndubisi reports.
Edo State Ministry of Health has set machinery in place to check any possible outbreak. A team has been deployed to the Benin airport for information on the manifesto of the airline that brought the Italian to the country. The ministry has also embarked on sensitization of the public through various news media.
Surveillance officers have been placed on red alert to carry out active case search in all health facilities, as well as all points of entry to the state, which includes the Benin airports and our various motor parks.
Edo also advised to remain calm and contact the following numbers for further information. In Benin, Eugenia Ndubisi, NTA News.
Now, with the recent political development in Edo State, the police command has commenced a discourse with members of various political parties to chart a way forward and ensure peace before, during, and after the governorship election slated for September. Udrakobong Achibong reports.
The meeting is the first to be held by the Edo State Police Command amidst the political tempo in the state. The command is aware that the governorship election in the state is around the corner, but there are ugly incidences such as thuggery, violence and use of explosives, which could impede a hitch-free election if not checked.
So as you talk to your supporters, that violence does not bring any development and does not guarantee political success, we will ensure that anybody that breaks the law is brought to book. The first line of proactive effort is to interface with stakeholders.
At the end of the meeting, some participants spoke to newsmen.
We appreciate the need to work extremely hard for the desired peace, without which we in government cannot be seen to be doing well in terms of development and dividend of democracy.
We are in support of this initiative, and we equally praise that we should have more of these consultations.
For the Edo State Police Command, the interface will be continuous to ensure the upcoming election achieves the needed result. In Benin, Obrakobong Achibong, NTA News.
That's our package. Lydia has more on Nationwide.
Many thanks, Agatha. Time for another break to stay.
Lost his mom when he was about 6-7 months old, and the grandmom is more or less on her own.
The family needs help, my mom needs help.
The day I met the child, he was chased from school. I said, open your hand. What was that? It was 3 palm kernels. That was his snack.
Lassa fever occurs when a person gets bitten by a rat carrying the Lassa virus. It is also contacted through the consumption of foods that have been contaminated by either the saliva, urine, or excreta of the rats. Lassa fever is deadly, so protect yourself and loved ones from it. Keep rats away from your homes. Ensure that leftover foods are properly covered at night and heat up properly before consumption. Indoors.